Wow. Welcome, everyone. I sense a lot of excitement, and I feel that there are a lot of people here. My name is Tony Sheppard, and I am the chair of the Department of Music. That's a chair, and I'm a chair. I guess that means a lot of people sit on me in the music department, which is kind of true. I'm also a musicologist. What's a musicologist? Well, I don't write songs, and I rarely sing songs, and you'll be happy to hear that. I study songs. I study the music that I love, the music that I'm interested in. I teach classes about songs and music, and I write articles about it. That sounds pretty cool, right? Imagine getting paid by Williams College to sit around studying music all day. Mom, Dad, forget doctor, lawyer, forget paleontologist. I want to be a musicologist, right? All right, good. Now, maybe once in your career, guys, you might have the opportunity to meet the people who wrote the music you love. Wouldn't that be cool? Well, that's going to happen today. The very people who wrote the music that I think you all probably are familiar with, it was for a movie that came out in November that was called Icy. You're right. Icy. No? Chili. Frozen. You're right. All right. So can we have a warm Williams welcome for Kristen Anderson-Lopez of the class of '94 and Bobby Lopez?
Thank you. I'm wondering where my children are. Did they go to the bathroom? Okay.
Oh, here they come.
Oh. As long as they're back
right,
in
good,
time.
good.
All right, now we're ready to go. Thank you guys so much for doing this, for taking time out of your reunion to be with us, all of us here today in the 62 Center at Williams. I want to start with Kristen, because it is your reunion after all.
That's right. We did this for Yale a couple of years ago.
Oh, all right, so you switched. And I wanted to ask, how did you get into this? How did you become a songwriter instead of, say, a paleontologist or musicologist? What happened at Williams that led you to this moment?
Well, I have to say, I wish someone had told me when I was a little girl that there were women songwriters, because I grew up always doing shows in my backyard and acting and putting the costumes together and directing everybody. And at the time, in the 80s, people said, oh, she loves theater, she must want to be an actress. So I kind of got that message. Mm-hmm. I came to Williams, and I was a theater and psychology double major, but I spent the bulk of my time singing for the E-flats.
Any E-flats here? Oh,
E-flats out there?
Okay.
Woohoo! And I took music classes, and I got
music department.
Yeah, music department. I took classes on Verdi and Wagner, which is where I learned how to use musical motifs. I learned that I like the Italian happy-go-lucky way a little bit more than the German Sturm und Drang. I learned how to act. I learned how to build sets. I wrote a play about a little boy, it was a boy who accidentally killed a swan with a mini golf club, and I thought it was so deep and sad, and I was like crying as I wrote it on my Brother word processor. Remember those? And I was like, oh, the class is gonna be just so choked up. And I took it in, and the whole class was laughing the entire time, just laughing. And they were like, you're such a comedy writer. So I discovered that. And then I graduated and became sort of a mediocre musical theater actress. If there was a nun to be played in New Hampshire, it was me. Yeah, thank you. Sister Robert Ann, twice. Maria von Trapp, twice. and like every nun behind Maria and many other things. I was a nun, like a professional nun for my 20s. And I said, this isn't quite right. Like something's going wrong here. And I was always rewriting the lyrics anyway to the shows backstage and making parodies of like the hills are alive with the sound of mucus, like that kind of. And someone told me, you're a lyricist. And there was this program that was free called BMI. And truly, the first day I presented my first song, it was like the skies opened up. And it was like, you're supposed to be a writer. And from that moment on, I just knew what I needed to do. And I met him 3 weeks later, so that was nice.
Aww. Now, the question is, when they met, did she fall in a boat and he helped her out of the boat like Hans? So Bobby, you've written a couple shows in your day so far. Book of Mormon and Avenue Q, those have a bit different.
Some of you aren't old enough to know those yet.
But the lyrics of those shows and the basic stories are a little bit different than Frozen. What about the musical style? Like when you approached Frozen, did you think, totally different from those shows or what?
Actually musically, they're not that different. Book of Mormon is in many ways a Disney parody. And we looked at Disney, the songs of the 90s and Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. And we very much had those in mind musically when we were writing the songs for Book of Mormon, because the guy who's the lead in Book of Mormon, the main character, is obsessed with going to Orlando and Disney World and all that. And when he finds out he's going to Africa, he thinks, yeah, Lion King. So actually, no, it was not musically, it was pretty clear. I'm qualified.
I feel like we need to tell everybody, just up front, Elsa and Anna aren't coming today. Elsa and Anna, they live down in Norway, in Los Angeles, Norway, and also, or Anaheim, Norway, and Orlando, Norway. And you can talk to them if you stand on like a 6-hour line, or you get a fast pass. But they're not coming today. But who is coming today are the people who gave Anna and Elsa their music and their words. And we wrote all the songs. And actually, the little girls, too, there's going to be surprise appearances and some fun. But I promise you, we're going to have fun, Frozen fun.
Well, we want to know the secrets. We want to know, how did you guys actually write these songs that we've been singing for months and months? Which came first, the words for the songs or the melody? Do you pick a general musical style first? How do you start to write a song?
The sandwiches come first. We sit and we eat a lot of sandwiches.
And we do a lot of talking.
Do a lot of talking and drinking of Diet Coke. And just saying like, well, what does Anna want at this moment? What does Anna need? And
they should know. We should talk about when we first came on the project, the story was so different. They had a script, which we read, and Elsa was the bad guy from the very beginning of the story through the end of the story until the very last second where she kind of turned good, and she didn't even really turn good.
She didn't turn good. She kidnapped Anna from her wedding and took her up and then was going to freeze her heart. Like, it was a whole different story.
And at the very end, she came down the mountain with a whole evil snowman army to invade the town and get Anna back so her heart could properly freeze.
And this story didn't sing to us.
We tried to put some songs in it, and they fell on the floor. They
all fell on the floor.
Cut.
So we got the person who wrote the script got fired, and we got a new person. And it was someone who was really excited to write a musical. And we all kind of started from scratch again, talking about like what does create problems between sisters. And I have a question for you guys. Who here is an older sister? Raise your hand if you're an older sister. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if sometimes you're like, leave me alone. I want to be alone. Right? So, okay, who here is a younger sister? Now raise your hand if you've ever been like, play with me, play with me. Have you felt that? And that was sort of the dynamic we noticed between sisters, between siblings, that we wanted to talk about.
Well, you know, in the story, there's something kind of funny here. You guys are parents, and you have 2 daughters, and you worked on this movie where the parents, they're out of there early on in the story. But in this case, the parents somehow wrote the music together. Now, throughout American music history, there have been famous songwriting teams. One person writes the words usually, one writes the music. Do you guys divvy things up, or are you there working it all out together? How does it work?
Well, we don't really divvy it up. We talk and talk and talk. First about the story, making sure the story's right and the song is in the right place. Then we talk and talk some more about what the song should be called, and then we start just playing. We start improvising. She can sing, I can sing. I play the piano mostly. She doesn't really play, but she's just as much of a music writer.
But I do write on the whiteboard. We have a big whiteboard, and we just put a whole bunch of ideas and lyrics and phrases up, and then it's like a day or 2 later, it starts to gel into something.
Yeah, my theory is that if you procrastinate from writing and just talk about it for as long as possible, then the writing process is actually a lot of fun because it goes really fast, as opposed to when you try and start when you're not really ready to write, then it feels like you're pulling teeth.
This is where we disagree. Because Bobby's always like, we're not ready to write yet. And I'm like, no, I need to take my notebook and I've got to scribble. Like, I need to be writing things down and have a little free writing time, and then I can come up with that idea. But sometimes my pen moving on the paper is the thing that allows my brain to get it right. Mm-hmm. So we continue to agree to disagree on that one.
Well, thinking about you guys as a couple and as a team, why don't we move to some of the songs? Let's start with Love is an Open Door. And sure. I want, before we hear you guys sing, and Bobby will play Hans, but we won't hiss at him, right? Because we'll know he's just pretending to be a total jerk, right? And Kristen will obviously play Anna. But before we do, I want to play Olaf the musicologist, because I looked at this song, and if you remember the song, we don't know that Hans is a bad guy, right? It looks like he really loves her, and they have this cute number together. And I wondered if there were any hints that Hans was wicked. So if you guys remember, what's the first thing Hans sings? Does he sing to Anna, "Oh, I've always been looking for someone like you"? No, he says, "I've always been looking to find my own place." Right? So this guy has one thing on the brain. He wants
I see why you're the head of the department now.
Oh, it's going to get better. All right.
Ooh, what's happening?
Oh, boy.
Well, I wanted to know, is there anything in the music that also tells us that this guy is a jerk and that things are not going to work out?
The cheesiness of it, actually. Like, we intentionally wrote a karaoke song.
It's very
Wait,
special.
let him get to his point.
So
All right,
do your
anyway.
special thing.
So my question is, what I'm about to ask you, did you do this on purpose? Why? Or is it just sort of an accident? Because there's this moment where Anna sings, and it's nothing like I've ever known before. Right? And he sings the same thing. And it's nothing like I've never known before. But when they sing together, it doesn't sound that good, actually. That is the wickedest interval in the history of Western music. Did you know that?
That's the devil's interval.
It is.
That is the devil's interval.
And then it comes again. And you know when it comes? When they sing I've, and when they sing be, and then they end on for. Does that sound nice? No, it doesn't sound nice. Well, it gets worse. You guys.
I'm going.
It gets much worse.
I'm leaving.
So then they sing love is an open door. So they hit the same note on door, but that's sneaky. jerk, Han, sings this. Door, or, that doesn't sound good. Then they sing Love is an Open Door again, and she hits door. And what does he do? He clashes with her, and then he moves and clashes with her again before finally saying, oh yeah, I'm supposed to trick her. Am I right?
Totally.
Yeah. Got it.
Good.
How would you know?
Well, because they gave the right answer, would you like to hear them sing it? Yes, thank you.
I have a tiny disclaimer. It's our reunion, and you know how sometimes you stay out a little too late. I'm a little hoarse.
No, reindeer. You're a little reindeer, not
I'm
horse.
a little. If this were a Broadway show, my understudy would be on. Let's just say that. And the other thing you should know is we had this problem because we all had to understand why Anna, this girl we like, would fall for this trick. So we had to make this the most fun first date where you go to golf and stuff and you ride roller coasters and you sing karaoke till 2 a.m. and they say, let's move in together. And you do. And you spend the next 6 years getting out of it. And that was this kind of song. Can I just say something crazy?
I love crazy.
Oh, good. I'm glad. All my life has been a series of doors in my face. And then suddenly I bump into you.
I was thinking the same thing. 'Cause like, I've been searching my whole life to find my own place. And maybe it's the party talking or the chocolate fondue.
But with you,
I found my place.
I see your face. And it's nothing like I've ever known before. Love is an open door. Love is an open door. Love is an open door with you. With you. Love is an open door. And we look at the stars and it's beautiful. Love, love, love.
I mean, it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
I never met someone who thinks so much like me. Jinx, jinx again. Our mental synchronization can't have but one explanation.
You
And I
were
just meant to be. Say goodbye to the pain of the past. We don't have to feel it anymore. Love is an open door. Love is an open door. Love is an open door with you. With you. Love is an open door.
Can I say something crazy? Wish I'd have gone to Williams.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy.
I'm gonna send you guys right back. Wow. We're on a roll. Let's go to First Time in Forever. Don't give her a breather at all, right? So, First Time in Forever, I think it's a great characterization of Anna. And if it weren't for that other song that we might talk about later, we might not. That's, in the movie, this would have been the hit song of the movie, and it's got.
Or there just wouldn't have been a hit song.
There was a time, like last year, that we just thought this was gonna pull our whole career. Like we were going down. We were like, maybe I could become a birthday party clown or something, because the movie wasn't working until about July last year.
Yeah, because we only wrote this song about a year ago, First Time in Forever. We
Yeah.
didn't have it.
Oh.
This song became the linchpin of the whole movie.
It did, and later on we're going to talk about the reprise when it comes back and how it really pulls the whole movie together. But the first time we hear For the First Time in Forever, it's just got so much life. It's just bubbling forward with 16th notes and a lot of alliteration. She F, 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 F sound in all her words.
That's Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Push. pushing forward. And she hits the word first, if you happen to notice, always on the first beat of the measure. She does that over and over again.
Totally.
This guy's good.
Yeah. So anyway, and I was thinking that this song really encapsulates who Anna is and who she wants to be, and it'd be really exciting if we could hear it right now.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, good.
So again, throat sore, and I'm going to play Anna and Elsa until they sing together. And I really, really mean this. If you guys want to sing with me especially when it gets really high, sing along, okay? If you know it. When she's going, da 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 da, I want you to sing with me, okay? Here we go. Oh my gosh, Elsa's coronation. The window is open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore. Who knew we owned 8,000 salad plates? I feel like I could laugh or cry. Which one is it? That's the old, we have all these old lyrics. For years I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Finally they're opening up the gates. They'll be happy, smiling people. It'll be totally strange. But wow, am I so ready for this change? Sing with me. For the first time in forever, there'll be music, there'll be light. For the first time in forever, I'll be dancing through the night. My favorite line. Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone. 'Cause for the first time in forever, what? She won't be alone, right? And then she starts talking to the art. Tonight, imagine me, gown and all, fetchingly draped against the wall. The picture of sophisticated grace. Ooh. Suddenly see him standing there, a beautiful stranger, tall and fair. I want to stuff some chocolate in my face. And then we laugh and talk all evening, which is totally bizarre. Nothing like the life I've led so far. Sing, for the first time in forever,
Music.
there'll be fun. For the first time in forever, I could be noticed by someone. And maybe it's totally crazy to dream I'd find romance, but for the first time in forever, at least I got a chance. And now we see Elsa all alone, and she's in her finery. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, where do we hear this? Don't feel, put on a show. Make one wrong move and everyone will know.
But it's only for today.
It's only for today.
It's agony to wait.
It's agony to wait.
Tell the guards to open up. Oh, shoot. The gate.
The gate for the first time in forever.
Don't let them in.
I'm getting what I'm dreaming
Be the good
of.
girl you always have to.
A chance to change my lonely world.
Conceal.
A chance to find true
Conceal,
love.
don't feel, don't let
I know it all ends tomorrow, but it has to be today. I need your help. For the first time in forever. Thank you. The first time in forever. Nothing's in my way. Oof.
All right. What about a snowman? We need a snowman. Don't you want to build a snowman? Now, how many people have sung this song at home? Do you want to build a snowman, right? Have you noticed how many times these guys use the same rhythm? Dot, dot, dot. Dot, 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 the same note. They do it 9 times in the song. It's like the melody is knock, knock, knocking on the door. But guess what? They're in good company, because guess who else did it? Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, right? Da, 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 da. Exactly, right? So to perform this song, which actually I find very poignant, having children of my own, I think that all those short phrases she sings, as she's hesitating, trying to knock on the door, trying to get her sister's attention, and then at the very end of each section, they really hit home because of the pauses between her statements. But if we're going to perform this, don't we need some help?
We do. In fact, who would like to be a star today? I need 2 stars.
We need young Elsa.
We need an Elsa, the middle Anna. We need
Anna.
middle Anna, so someone who knows the bicycle. Do you want to build a snowman or ride my bike around the halls? And we need an older one too. Why don't we get this one? Can you be middle? Can you
Hurry
be
up.
middle? Anna, come on up.
You gotta run.
We're gonna do live theater. We're just gonna create it
Run that way.
right now. So now I need someone who could be Kristen Bell, who can be a grown-up, like teenager or grown-up, and really put a ton of emotion
There's
into
one
it.
right there in the orange.
Ah.
Okay, come up around. And
Yes,
you know what? We
run.
need somebody else. We need a star. We need somebody who was actually in the movie. Katie Lopez, are you here? All right. Whoa. Great. So, you are going to be young Elsa. So you will be
Young Anna.
young Anna. Gosh, they're going to fire me. Well, you know, Olaf can't get the names Sven and Kristoff right, so I'm playing my part. Okay.
You're doing awesome.
And here, that is for the older one. Is that right? Okay. And you know your part by now. You've done it a couple times? You're sure you're not nervous?
Just a little.
Okay. All right. Here, why don't you guys scoot over?
This is my daughter Katie, and she sang it in the movie. So, do you know? I'll tell you when to come in. You know the song? Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be fine. We're gonna rock it. Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Knock, 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 knock. Do you want to build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play. I never see you anymore. Come out the door, it's like you've gone away. We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish you would tell me why. Do you want to build a snowman? It doesn't have to be a snowman. Okay, bye.
Do you want to build a snowman? Ride our bike around the halls. Think some company is overdue. Started talking to the pictures on the walls. It's a little lonely, all these empty rooms, just watching the hours tick by. Do you want to?
All right. Then the parents die because. I will do.
Elsa, I know you're in there. People are asking where you've been. They say have courage, and I'm trying to. I'm right out here for you. Just let me in. We only have each other. It's just you and me. What are we going to do? Do you want to build a snowman?
Awesome. Take a bow. Thank you very much. You can Keep that.
Spontaneous theater, folks. You saw it here first.
All right, let's get back to work. Come back.
All right.
That worked. That was your idea. That was so brilliant. All right. So you know these songs, they're actually in a movie, right? They're in a movie, so we're actually seeing things as we're hearing these songs. And I was wondering, when they were making the movie Frozen, we know that they had it all messed up at the beginning until you guys fixed it up. But when are you brought into the process, and how did your songs start to shape the story and things like that?
Well, we came into the process when they knew it was going to be a sister story. Mm-hmm. They knew it was going to be loosely based on the Snow Queen. And they had a script that was just a first pass at a script. And they brought us in, and we started talking about where songs could possibly go. And then in this case, which was unusual, the whole script imploded. And we got to build it together with Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck. So we really got to put a lot of our DNA, and we talked every day. There's a little TV in our office, and we talked to the TV for 2 hours every day, sometimes 3 hours every day for 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the first song that actually stayed in the movie was "Let It Go." That was the first song we really wrote, and it changed the direction of the film. It was that was the song we were writing for a character who was supposed to turn bad, so we had that in mind. Also, that's why the line, the cold never, let the storm rage on, the cold never bothered me anyway, was supposed to kind of give you the idea that she might become the Snow Queen that didn't any longer care about the town or where she came from.
Well, when you guys were working on the movie, did you know who was going to sing the different parts? Were you, and if you did, or even later, did you get to work with the singers?
I will tell you a story. It's a ridiculous story. We went to the first table read, and a table read is like the key animators at Disney, the directors, the producer. It's like 40 people, all sitting around a big table. And they sat John Lasseter right between Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel, reading this script that was really flawed. But at the end, someone wheeled out like a Casio, and they started singing "Wind Beneath My Wings" in harmony over him. And Bobby and I went like, "Oh, what are they doing?" John Lasseter was in heaven. He was like, Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel have to be in the movie from that moment on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. So speaking about voices, I think if we get to an example, we start thinking about Fixer Upper, okay? There's a lot of humor in that. A lot of the humor is in the rhythm and the rhyme that you guys wrote into the songs. This is a big dance number. If anybody is old enough in the audience to see Busby Berkeley films, right? This is a Busby Berkeley number.
2-year-olds, you know Busby Berkeley, right?
The circles, and they jump all flying in at the end. Well, anyway, this song has a lot of comedy in it, but a lot of the comedy is because of the different voices, right? You have the grouchy old man voice. Give me that. You have like the little girl troll voice that says, about his proclivity for urinating in the woods. I can't believe I just said that. But you also have.
By the way, I don't see no ring.
Right. And all those different voices, did you tell them that you needed all these voices from Brooklyn, from wherever? Or did they just cast it? Did they just know that to make the song extra funny, you needed these different voices?
They gave us the idea, although we should have come up with the idea in the beginning, to use a lot of people from New York for this number because we wanted it to sound like a Broadway number with a lot of funny actors singing. And so, yes, we had our two girls again as the baby trolls in that movie, Annie and Katie. But the other people from that number were all from Book of Mormon and Avenue Q
and Kinky
Boots.
It's the girl chorus from Kinky Boots, and all the boys are Mormons and Africans in the Book of Mormon.
Great. And they're all trolls. we're going to watch this sequence, and when we watch it, first of all, notice that it's basically filmed like it's on a stage. It's almost all dancing and singing all the time on stage. And sometimes the camera will put us above Anna's shoulder as though we are Anna and we're hearing this performance and we're thinking about this guy that we're learning about from these love experts, right? So why don't we actually watch Fixer Upper?
Movies, TV.
Movie. So the other big dance number in the movie is Olaf's number, right? The soft shoe number for him in summer. And I want to do a test here, a musicological test. Could everybody answer the question, which subdivision of the beat, a duple or a triple, feels more right for tripping through the green grass on a bright sunny day? Are you ready? We're going to test out a duple subdivision of the beat. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now try triple. 1 nani, 2 nani, 3 nani, 4 nani, 1 nani, 2 nani, 3 nani. Okay, so which one, number 1 or number 2, feels more like tripping and skipping through the fields? 1 nani, 2 nani, 3 nani, 4 nani, 1 and 2 and right. You can see it on my face. Anyway, they use a lot of triplets, a lot of that triple 1 nani rhythm in this dance number. Just geniuses, really. Seriously. And beyond that, there's a lot of cute details. How many people have noticed all the different snowmen, like the Ice Cube snowman and his drink? You noticed? You noticed that. And then suddenly the camera zooms out and it's a gotcha shot. We see him there on the beach, lounging, getting a tan. Also notice how we are brought into his imagination. The camera zooms in slowly on his face. And throughout the entire sequence, we're reminded this is a dream, because he just dances his way into a new setting. It's like you're on stage and the backdrop keeps changing behind you, and suddenly you're on the beach, and suddenly you're in the ocean, and suddenly you're dancing with a seagull, right? We could do that here at the 62 Center. All right, why don't we watch In Summer?
We had a version of that song before we found this one called Hot, Hot Ice. That, that was like Hot, Hot, Hot meets Simon and Garfunkel. It didn't work.
Oh. Well, the song that maybe holds the whole film together, or that really is important in the film, is When First Time in Forever comes back. Because in that moment in the film, we see things that we've seen before. We see Anna running up the stairs like she did when she was really excited early in the movie for the first time in forever. Or we see Elsa walking out on the balcony like she did in that triumphant moment in Let It Go, right? We see that again. And we see the storm swirling that's going to happen at the end of the film. How did you guys musically sort of bring it all together in this First Time in Forever reprise?
We tried for a long time to write a song that would go there, and the songs kept getting cut. We wrote a song called Life's Too Short, which if you have the
if you heard on the deluxe album
edition, it's on there. And it kept not working, and then we wrote First Time in Forever, and we realized, gee, that moment should be, actually Kristen realized, that moment should be a reprise, because the girls have never really said what's on their minds to each other. And we know what's on their minds from the very beginning of the movie. Let's do that song again, but have them actually sing their arguments to each other. And it was really the right idea. It made the film feel complete and made the score seem like a real score. Well,
and talking about motifs, in the same way that Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is kind of a memorable tune, you had da-na-na-na-na-na-na associated with Anna being hopeful, right? That we heard da-da-da-da-da-da. It was like, play with me, be with me, connect with me. And you also had Elsa, which was dun-dun-na-na, dun-dun-na-na, which was fear, control, don't let people see, and stay away from me.
And the key changes, and she sings perfect fifths and fourths, and it's very strong, and solemn strings at that moment. It's a total change. Oh, sorry.
I really would like to have a dinner with you and hear the other things we did. But it was actually the minute we realized it was a reprise, I think I wrote it in 20 minutes and I pitched it. Bobby was in LA fixing Do You Want to Build a Snowman? And I pitched it to a whole room of our team, and it got in the movie, so that was good.
But guys, what about like the secret thing? So we all know, we hear Let It Go in this, we hear Elsa sing it, but did anyone notice at the very end, after, I hope I'm not giving anything away, after the ice zaps Anna in the heart, what music do we hear at that moment? We hear something from Frozen Heart, right? The curse.
Right.
Right? You didn't know that? Oh, anyway.
that was
Why don't we
intentional.
watch it and let's listen for all the cues that are coming at us from the whole film. So can we watch First Time Reprise?
That is actually a human voice, and it's a thing called cooning from Norway. And it represents Elsa's fear. You hear it anytime Elsa is fearful, you'll hear this high voice that almost sounds like a flute.
And then there's a creepy scale that Elsa sings on Ah. But anyway,
That's also Frozen Heart.
Born of cold and winter air.
what you guys might not know is that this is kind of like a musicological convention, and we have lots of musicologists out there, some of whom wrote questions that if we could have the questions now, that'd be great. And this is Ashley Cart of the Alumni and Reunion Office, who is responsible for this event. Thank you. Thank
She's in
you.
an
All
Anna
right.
costume.
So could you guys line up here? So we're gonna, if you could pick out a question, I'll ask it, okay? Just grab one. Thank you very much. Okay, here's a question. Did you know who the cast was going to be before you wrote the music? That was my question. So did you know?
Some of them, yes, and the trolls, no.
Okay. How did you think of the name Olaf?
Oh, you know what? Olaf was always Olaf before we came. There was this puppet. Olaf changed personalities a lot, but he was always named Olaf. But I will say how Oaken got his name. So, this is a secret. But do you know when you go to Oaken, who owns the shop in the woods?
Yeah.
And there's a sauna there, and there's a family that's kind of naked in there.
Yeah.
So Jennifer Lee took the word naked Norwegians and then put it in an anagram, and it came out Wandering Oaken. It was like a gift from the universe. That's how Oaken got his name. It's an anagram for naked Norwegians.
I don't know if we really needed to know that. All right. But here's a question. This is a good question. Who's the star, Anna or Elsa?
Anna.
Okay. All right. We got it. All right. All right.
Actually, no, I want to quickly address that, if I can. Because that was a huge thing for 2 years. We talked about who is the protagonist. Protagonist is the main character. Whose side were we supposed to be on? And we wrote Let It Go, and at first it was all supposed to be Anna's story, but we wrote Let It Go, and this idea of someone who allows fear and shame to keep her power in, and then finally lets it out, was so powerful that she became a co-protagonist. That's right. And there are so few movies in Hollywood that have two female protagonists, much less two characters with names who talk to each other about something other than romantic involvement with a man. So we're hoping that this ushers the way to more gender parity in protagonists in Hollywood and theater and all the stories that we hear.
So, if we had more time, we could talk about the Thelma and Louise connection. All right, okay. Would you like to draw one more question from here? Make it a good one, not a hard one. Not that one, no. No. Pick another one. Okay. Thanks. When did you start composing, and how long did it take?
We started in, I guess, January of 2012. So it was really 2 years, not quite 2 years, a year and a half.
That's when we wrote, if you've heard the deluxe, there's a song called We Know Better that has will you play the vamp? I love this vamp. And we tried to get it into the movie, and you can actually hear it in Let It Go. But this was the first piece of music we wrote for all of Frozen. 1, 2, 3 together. Clap together, snap together. There was a whole little chant that they did.
And then that shows up in Let It Go in the...
Before the bridge, before the frozen fractals. My children are getting bored.
Well, actually, could you guys, Katie and Annie, could you take this back?
Okay.
'Cause we're,
Thank you.
Olaf has a couple more questions, and the biggest one I have is, what's next for Frozen?
Annie, it's time to go off stage now, okay? I love you. We'll be off stage in 7 minutes, okay?
Is there going to be a musical, stage musical? And if so, will you use some of the songs? Like, just suggesting maybe it'd be a good idea to use more than just the spare because it really rounds out Anna's character. But I would say don't use Hans's song, You're You, because it's too beautiful and sweet. And if you did, I would never in my life believe that Hans was a jerk. But is it going to be a musical, a stage musical?
It's definitely, Bob Iger said so.
Okay.
And Bob Iger's the head of Disney.
That's good.
We had a retreat at John Lasseter's vineyard with his train and his pool with a water slide, and that was kind of fun. And
Well, yeah, and so there definitely in a few years will be a stage show, and I think very soon there's going to be an ice show traveling the country. And if there, I've never been to an ice show, but it seems like if any movie was made for an ice show.
Right. So now I have a personal question, a question that a lot of the parents in the audience want to ask, I know, which is, we've been living with these songs, some of us since December or late November, and you know, we hear these songs a lot, and we were wondering, how do you live with these songs? Do you have rules in your house and in your car on how many times you can listen to the CDs or how many times you can watch the movie? What's the rules in the Lopez house?
dude, we've been dealing with this since 2012. Since we wrote Let It Go. And actually, what's been strange is my kids really loved Let It Go until the movie came out. And then they felt like they were sort of like the early adapters of Depeche Mode that were suddenly like, everybody likes Depeche Mode now. I don't like it anymore. That's sort of where.
Well, you know, she just mentioned this song, Let It Go. And I was wondering, how many of you have ever sung Let It Go before? Okay, how many people have sung Let It Go in the shower? Okay, how many people really like to sing Let It Go when mom, dad, sister, or brother say, don't sing that song? Right? Okay, that's great. So, do you know how to act it out like Elsa in the movie, some of you? Yeah, okay. Now, what's about to happen is something you're going to remember for the rest of your lives. For the rest of your lives, you're going to be able to tell people that once upon a time, you performed Let It Go live in the 62 Center at Williams College in front of an entirely packed, standing room only audience with Kristen Anderson-Lopez and Bobby Lopez. This is the moment you have been waiting for. This is why you came to Reunion. So, everybody get up. Everybody get up.
Everybody stand up.
Okay. Now,
Wait, before we
no, I got a little closure.
before we sing,
What?
wait, Kristen.
Let me do the close your eyes thing. Okay.
Katie wanted to tell a thing about chocolate.
Oh,
She wants-
okay.
What?
Okay.
I don't know if you can now.
I think, all right, I'm just supposed to tell you that Katie wrote the line, I want to stuff some chocolate in my face.
Okay.
That was yes, okay, all right, back over there, over
Okay,
there.
everyone, don't turn my mic off yet. I'm not done. Everyone, let's close our eyes and imagine that we're not in summer, that there's not a beautiful blue sky with puffy Olaf clouds and purple mountains outside, but instead, we're in winter, and a deep, 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 deep snow has fallen on the Berkshires.
You're alone, you've been chased from everything you know. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight. not a footprint to be seen. I know it's a little low. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Ready? Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. Now do this move. The cold never bothered me anyway. You have to just do that move. Now we get to walk up the mountain. Ready? It's funny how some distance